Welcome back to Mobility Insider. I'm your host, Morten Hannesbo. This is our 2021 Porsche Taycan 4S. In this video, I want to talk about the cost of running a car like this one as your daily driver. And I also want to talk about the latest recall issues that the Porsche Taycan has and what Porsche is going to do about it. Our channel is not sponsored. All of the views and conclusions are based on me having worked in the automotive business for 35 years. So this is my third Taycan, so I had a very clear idea what the car should be like when I was looking for one. This is a 4S, so you got four-wheel drive. You have rear-wheel steering, which is very important when you maneuver in cities. You have the large 93.4 kilowatt-hour Performance Plus battery, so you get the longer range and you also get more performance. Inside the cabin, you have the Sport Chrono package and the 14-way adjustable leather-free tech seat. So all in all, this was the perfect package for me. So the size of the battery is quite important for a car like this one. You get a usable capacity of 83.7 kilowatt hours, and that gives you about 400 kilometers of usable range, even in cold weather conditions. I bought the car back in February of 2024. Back then it had 14,000 kilometers. Now it has 21,000 kilometers. The car really is very, very nice to drive. It is, of course, a large car. The length is 496 centimeters and the width with mirrors 214 centimeters. So it is quite a large car, especially when you drive in town. But because of the rear wheel steering, the turning diameter is just 11.2 meters. So overall, it will manage well in town as well. But in the first 4 years of the life of the Taycan, there have been quite a number of technical issues and recalls, and that has dented the reputation not only of the Taycan, but for Porsche as a brand in general. Now I want to talk about the cost of running the car, because it is not cheap to run a Porsche Taycan as your daily driver. And after that, I'm going to talk about the latest recall issues. So first of all, the extended warranty. The car has a 4-year warranty when you buy it. And because it's just turned 4 years in February, I decided to buy the extended warranty for another year. The cost for doing that is 1,680 Swiss francs. And I think in the big scheme of things, that is a good investment, knowing how many problems the Taycans have had over the last 4 years. So whereas the car has a 4-year warranty now plus 1 more year, the traction battery comes with 8 years of warranty up to 160,000 kilometers. So I don't have to do anything about that just yet. Now, one thing I also had to do was to buy winter tires and alloys for the winter tires. The best deal I found was these 20-inch alloys with winter tires from Goodyear Ultra Grip. And in total, I paid 3,600 Swiss francs for all 4 wheels. And also the summer tires after 20,000 kilometers were worn. So I had to buy 4 new summer tires. Those are Pirelli P0s. And for those, I paid 1,875 Swiss francs. So though there have been a number of repairs, I did not actually have to pay for them because they were fixed under warranty. But still, I had to invest this year already 7,155 Swiss francs for the tires and for the extension of the warranty. So in addition, I have road tax cost of 330 Swiss francs per year, and the comprehensive insurance cost about 2,100 Swiss francs per year. So in total, I already spent 9,500 Swiss francs so far this year. And this amount excludes the fuel cost or the charging cost, and of course the depreciation of the vehicle. So in terms of depreciation, in the first 3 years, a car like a Taycan will have a big hit in depreciation. But after 3 years, I expect the depreciation to be about 10% per year, so about 7,000 Swiss francs per year for a car like this one. So you add that on top. Also, in terms of charging cost, to do 15,000 kilometers per year, you'll probably have to charge about 3,000 kilowatt hours, and that will cost you approximately 1,250 Swiss francs. So all in all, added together, the cost of running a car for 2025 for me is going to be approximately 17,750 Swiss francs. So with the financial aspects to the side, let's talk about the consumption of the Taycan. I took it on my standard test route, 55 kilometers approximately in 0 degrees Celsius, so cold weather. The consumption was 21.3 kilowatt hours for the car, and that compares to 21.7 for an Audi Q4 e-tron. That's a family SUV with much less power and a much lighter vehicle. So I think that's a pretty good result for the Taycan. In terms of long-term consumption, I tested the car now over 6,430 kilometers, and the average consumption has been just 20.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And that gives you an everyday range of 400 kilometers, even in cold weather. And I think that's an outstanding result for the Taycan, considering the fact that it is already in its 4th year. So whereas the Taycan is expensive to buy and maintain, at least the consumption is quite low. And when you consider that the car is 4 years old, back then in 2020 or 2021, it was the pinnacle of the technology available at the time. And that's why it still performs so well. In terms of charging, the Taycan is really very fast. It takes just 18 minutes to charge it from 10 to 80%. Of course, provided that you tell the car that there'll be a fast charging session, and you do that by tipping in the destination of the charger in your navigation system, and then the car will prepare the battery. And by the way, you can always see the temperature of the battery in the dashboard. So now let's talk about the latest 2 recalls. The first one was in November of 2024 in my case, and that was called ARB0 in Porsche code language. And this was concerning the brake hoses for the front axle. So the hoses could deteriorate over time. That could cause a leakage, and that could possibly cause a malfunction of the front brakes. And that's why it had to go in. It was, of course, fixed under warranty. And obviously, I don't feel any difference between before and now, but at least it has been fixed now. So the second recall is called WRS0 in code language from Porsche, and that is concerning the traction battery. And that is a little bit more annoying because it requires you, first of all, to take the car to the workshop within a few days. I got the letter from Porsche on February 10th this year, and a number of Porsche owners will have had letters over the last few weeks. Now, what it also does, it requires you to limit the charging to 80% of the battery capacity. And 80%, now it becomes a little bit critical if you have a long journey planned, because that actually takes your range below 300 kilometers in cold weather, because you take 20% out and you need to have a buffer of 10 or 15%. So that is a little bit annoying. If you want to set the charging to a maximum of 80%, as Porsche recommends, you have to go into your profiles, you press for the pen so you can adjust it. In this case, I have now set it to 80%, which is called minimum charge, but it is actually the maximum charge that the car will charge to. You can adjust that up and down. So we set it to 80%, and then that will be limited. Another thing that is quite interesting is to have the battery saving fast charging. If you activate this function, the car will only charge to a maximum of 200 kilowatt as the fastest speed, and not 270, which is what the car can actually do. Over time, that is probably going to have a positive effect on the lifetime of the battery. A last thing is that when you charge your car, you can always override the settings by pushing the button direct charging. Direct charging means the car will charge as fast as it can to 100% charge. Turn it off, and now we will take the setting from the menu. 80% will be the maximum charge. So the recall WRS0 requires you to bring your car to the workshop every 60 days until the car has the new software. And the new software will be ready probably at the end of March or in second quarter of this year. And thereafter, the surveillance of the vehicle will happen automatically and be transmitted to Porsche over the air. So in some cases, Porsche will also have to do actual repairs of the battery or some of the modules, or even change the unit that controls the battery surveillance. In that case, they will keep the car for a week and then do the work, and then you get the car back. Now, another thing is, when the software will arrive, you have to accept to deactivate the privacy mode. So Porsche, in theory, can see where you're driving. I'm fine with that, but it may not be to everyone's taste. You can discuss whether this is a consumer-friendly solution. If you don't want to deactivate the privacy mode, you have to keep bringing your car to Porsche every 2 months for the check. If you agree to activate the function of direct transfer of data, then of course you don't have to go to the workshop once you have the new software. So when I say there have been a few issues with the Taycans, yeah, there have been a number of issues, and this is a problem for Porsche and of course for the image of the Taycan. And these are things like the onboard charger, the 22 kilowatt charger. It's things like the heating, the radiator in the car had to be changed. You had some seatbelt adjustments, you had some valve systems in the wheels that have to be checked. The battery modules have been checked, etc., etc. And this is really a lot for a new high-tech car like a Taycan. As a former automotive executive, I've been running large dealerships for a number of years, and I know how dealers and customers interact when you have issues like they have had with the Taycan. And I think Porsche is on the wrong path here. Porsche had an opportunity to correct the faults and the image of the Taycan if they had acted differently. I think what Porsche should do is to extend the warranty on the vehicle from 4 to 6 years. And I think they should extend the traction battery warranty from 8 years to 12 years and include up to 300,000 kilometers, because that would show the confidence that Porsche should have in their product, and that would very much help the image of the Taycan, and it would also help Porsche when they want to sell a large number of the new facelifted Taycan, because if they don't address these issues, I think the result will be that the sales of the new Taycan will suffer as a result. So despite all these issues, the Taycan really is a fantastic car to drive. But I do recommend, if you are interested in buying a used Porsche Taycan, that you have the car checked. Go to your Porsche dealer, have the service manager check the VIN number of the car, and he can tell you if the car has had all the recall work done. Because if you buy a Porsche Taycan without all the work, there's a high risk that you will not be able to get an extended warranty on the car, and then you should expect to pay a lot of money and have a lot of trouble with your car. Thank you for watching Mobility Insider. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.